Welcome to the Vault of Anime, where today we're tackling a controversial topic that might just get me canceled. The top 10 most overrated anime of all time. Now remember, calling an anime overrated doesn't mean it's bad. It simply means the hype doesn't match the reality. So, put down your pitchforks, take a deep breath, and let's dive into this list together. In 10th place, we have Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is widely considered one of the most critically acclaimed anime ever created. Some call it a perfect 10, others give it a 9, solely because of the ending. But let's be real here, I don't think it's actually that good. Don't get me wrong, it's an absolutely amazing anime, but it's not a 10 or even a 9. It's a solid 7 out of 10. Attack on Titan had the potential to be the greatest anime of all time. The concept, the world building, those jaw-dropping action sequences, all spectacular. But the execution? That's where things fell apart. Eren's transformation from determined protagonist to genocidal villain felt rushed and forced. The emotional buildup just wasn't there. And what about Mikasa, our queen of simping? Her character was done dirty. After years of building up her connection to Eren, their final moments together should have been earth-shattering. Instead, we got something that felt incomplete. And that final battle? Anticlimactic is an understatement. Where was the tension we felt during earlier fights like Levi versus Zeke? The message the series tried to deliver got lost in translation, leaving us with a confusing conclusion that didn't live up to the hype. Attack on Titan is still good, even great in parts. But the greatest anime of all time? Sorry, but that's just overrating it. Following that, we have Death Note in 9th place. Death Note had it all, the psychological masterpiece, the mind games, the tension, and the brilliance of Light Yagami. But let's be honest, Death Note became severely overrated the moment a certain somebody died. You know who I'm talking about. Before that moment, absolute perfection. After, I'd rather watch my grandma play the drums. And she's dead. It's amazing how one moment can change the fate of an entire series just like that. If Death Note had ended after that character's death, it would have secured its place as one of the greatest anime ever made. But because it dragged on and people still kept praising it afterward, well, here we are. Shame on you, Death Note. Shame on you. In 8th place, we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal, the anime that sits at the top of almost every greatest anime ever list. The untouchable masterpiece that apparently can do no wrong. Let me be clear. It's a well-crafted anime with impressive world building, emotional depth, and an engaging plot. But the greatest anime of all time? Come on, it plays it too safe. It follows a traditional shonen structure that makes it less unique compared to bolder, riskier anime like Evangelion, Monster, or even Attack on Titan. It's a jack of all trades but master of none. It does action, comedy, philosophy, and drama, but never truly excels in any single area. And those villains? Shockingly weak. Father is painfully generic, essentially a discount god-complex villain with no real personality. Edward Elric gets praised as one of the best shonen protagonists, but is he really that special? Not really. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of the best shonen anime ever made, but its flaws get swept under the rug by its rabid fanbase, making it one of the most overrated anime in history. In 7th place, we have Demon Slayer, the record-breaking phenomenon, the animation masterpiece, the franchise that's making billions. Let's get one thing straight. Ufotable's animation is god-tier. The fluidity, the use of CGI, the cinematography, absolutely breathtaking. No debate there. But here's the hard truth. A beautiful anime doesn't automatically make it a great anime. Strip away the animation, and what's left? A painfully average shonen story. The most generic plot imaginable. MC's family gets killed. He trains to get stronger, fights progressively tougher enemies, wants to defeat the final boss. The end. The fights look amazing but lack strategy. Compare this to series like Hunter x Hunter or Attack on Titan, where battles are cerebral chess matches rather than just visual spectacles. And then there's the villain, a Michael Jackson copycat. Really? That's your big bad? Demon Slayer isn't bad. It's just not the revolutionary masterpiece fans make it out to be. It's a 5/10 anime with 11/10 animation, and that's why it lands firmly on this list. In 6th place, we have the Dragon Ball franchise. The Dragon Ball franchise is arguably the most influential anime series of all time. From Dragon Ball to Z, GT, Super, and countless movies, it has shaped the entire industry and created legendary characters like Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. But influential doesn't mean perfect. Dragon Ball suffers from what I call the rinse and repeat syndrome. If you've watched one Dragon Ball arc, you've basically watched them all. 1. New villain shows up, and they're way too strong. 2. Goku and friends get beaten up. 3. Someone trains or unlocks a new transformation. 4. Goku or someone else wins with a power-up. 5. Everything resets, and the next villain is even stronger. This cycle happens in every major saga. And let's talk about Goku, one of the most iconic anime characters ever, with exactly one personality trait. He just wants to fight strong people. That's it. No complexity, no emotional depth, just fighting. Vegeta could have been the best written character in Dragon Ball, but instead, he's stuck in a never-ending cycle of failure and jealousy. Dragon Ball deserves respect for its influence, but as a story, severely overrated. In 5th place, we have Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is the darling of modern shonen, the next Naruto. It's the series that everyone and their mother is obsessed with, but is it really that special? At its core, Jujutsu Kaisen follows the basic shonen template. 1. Normal high school boy Yuji suddenly gains an OP power. 2. He joins a special school, Jujutsu High, to learn how to control it. 3. There's a ranking system for enemies, cursed spirits. 4. There's an evil organization trying to kill him, Kenjaku's plan. 5. The strongest teacher character, Gojo, is OP, but keeps getting sidelined. Sound familiar? That's because this is basically the same setup as Naruto, Bleach, and Blue Exorcist. Let's be real. The only reason Jujutsu Kaisen reached its current heights is because of Gojo Satoru. The blindfold sensation has been carrying the show on his shoulders. And what happened when they killed him off in the most anticlimactic way possible? The series died with him. For me, that's enough to earn it a spot on this list. In 4th place is My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia was supposed to be the next big thing, the Naruto of a new generation. For years, it dominated discussions and seemed poised to become an all-time great. But then, something went terribly wrong. Deku's character arc is one of the most disappointing pieces of writing in recent anime history. He started as a relatable underdog with real struggles that people could connect with. Then the writers looked at all that potential and said, nah, let's turn him into the most generic main character ever instead. The side characters actually outshine the protagonist. Bakugo has genuine character development, transforming from a selfish, aggressive bully to someone who genuinely cares for others. No wonder fans prefer him to Deku. Just like Jujutsu Kaisen, the show is also being carried by its true main character, All Might. Once he's taken out of the picture, the series falls flat on its face. Great concept, mediocre execution. That's My Hero Academia in a nutshell. In 3rd place, we have Bleach. Bleach, one of the big 3. A pillar of shonen anime alongside Naruto and One Piece. But despite its legendary status, Bleach is severely overrated. The series has moments of brilliance, particularly the Soul Society arc, which delivered intense character moments, plot twists, and meaningful fights. But after that, the series quickly loses focus with pointless filler and endless fighting. Speaking of filler, Bleach has some of the longest filler arcs in anime history. The Bound arc and the dragged-out Hueco Mundo saga leave the main story barely moving forward. The pacing is atrocious. Many episodes feel stretched beyond reason, with unnecessary side stories that don't contribute to the central conflict. And then there's Ichigo Kurosaki, possibly the most boring protagonist in shonen history. He's constantly handed new powers like they're Christmas gifts, and they're always conveniently exactly what he needs to fight the current enemy. Enemy is a Shinigami? Boom. Ichigo's a Shinigami. Enemy is a Hollow? Boom. Ichigo's part Hollow. Fullbringer? Quincy? You guessed it. Somehow, Ichigo is those two. Apart from Aizen, who is legitimately fantastic, Bleach's villains are forgettable. They might look cool and seem tough, but their motivations feel shallow and most have little character development. Bleach had potential. It really did. But it squandered it, and that's why it ranks so high on this list. And in 2nd place, we have Naruto, the series that introduced countless viewers to anime. A global phenomenon with unforgettable moments and iconic characters. But when you peel back the layers of nostalgia, the cracks start to show. Naruto Uzumaki, the titular character, is the quintessential underdog who dreams of becoming the strongest. His story might inspire on the surface, but his character lacks the depth needed to truly stand out. Everything comes too easily to him. The Nine Tails chakra? A gift. Sage mode, which should take a lifetime to master? He gets it in weeks. The Sage of Six Paths power, another gift he never earned through struggle or growth. Let's be honest, Sasuke Uchiha is the real protagonist here. His journey from a revenge-driven avenger to a reluctant ally is infinitely more complex than Naruto's. While Naruto is busy shouting, "I'll never give up," Sasuke's internal struggle and darker motivations add genuine depth to the series. Naruto's pacing problems are legendary. The filler arcs are endless, and the storyline often grinds to a complete halt when these take over. And then there's the infamous talk no jutsu, Naruto's magical ability to talk his enemies into submission. This overused plot device leads to situations where characters like Pain change their entire life philosophy on a whim, just because Naruto says a few inspiring words. Naruto is a good anime, even a great one in parts. But the second most overrated of all time? Absolutely. And here we are. Number 1, One Piece. One Piece is often hailed as the greatest anime series ever created. Its long-running success, vast world building, and character arcs have earned it a massive, dedicated fan base. But that fan base has overhyped the series to the point of absurdity. One of One Piece's biggest selling points is its longevity, over 1,000 episodes and counting. But this length becomes its greatest flaw. The pacing issues are impossible to ignore. Entire episodes can be spent on insignificant details, filler scenes, or flashbacks that could be condensed or removed altogether. Luffy, the face of One Piece, is criticized for being too simple and predictable. His lack of personal growth and superficial motivations can be off-putting, especially compared to other iconic protagonists. Even when facing devastating losses and setbacks, he rarely grows emotionally or mentally. He bounces back without truly reflecting on his mistakes or actions. One Piece could have been the GOAT of anime if it had sacrificed its 1,000-plus episode longevity for a 50-episode masterpiece with no filler. The world building is impressive, yes. The characters are memorable, sure. But the greatest anime of all time? Not even close. So there you have it. The top 10 most overrated anime of all time. Remember, calling these series overrated doesn't mean they're bad. It simply means the hype surrounding them exceeds their actual quality. What do you think? Did I get it right? Did I miss any obvious choices? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you're furiously typing an angry comment right now, hit that like button, subscribe to the Vault of Anime, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another hot take. Until next time, this is the Vault of Anime, signing off.